Another story from Tales of a Chocolate Smuggler. And this one is called Dragon Seeker. In a place we have all been but no one remembers, a Raggedy Man lives in peace. He eats and breathes and lives for love. He seeks beauty and joy and slowly grows old. He lives alone and dreams of Venezuela and Africa and faraway places, of gypsy girls of colour and sound and vibrant hue. He has cinnamon-spiced dreams of secret places. He wants to hear her laugh in the small hours of his night. He is a Raggedy Man. He'll always be a Raggedy Man, but he has magnificent dreams. He has lost himself in an uncharted ocean, but does not mind. He was not born to be an inlander. He is a corsair, a buccaneer, a smuggler. He sails alone, he will die alone. He is a gypsy. He will one day meet his true love, a fellow traveller on the road. Her eyes will be his ocean, and in her ocean he will sail forever. In a middle place on the top sat a weather-beaten man. His brown eyes roamed over the countryside, seeking out the places where they might hide, the dark places, the secret places. He knows these places. He is a dragon seeker. From his lofty vantage he can see the whole world. A mat of green as far below him the forests breathe sleepily in the afternoon sun. A glistening silver sheet where the sun bounces off the sea. Smoke smudges where the villagers live and the cargo ships are. A playful breeze slips around his shoulders and tickles his ears. It smells vaguely of cinnamon and holds the barest hint of a misty mountain chill. He ignores it. He squints in the bright sunlight and sees a shadow. His entire body comes alive. He stares intently. A dragon place. He has devoted what is left of his life. He is obsessed and focused and stalked and hunted. He was a dragon hunter and would be a dragon slayer if only he was a little bit braver and bigger and smarter. If only I was not so little. As he stumbles down the hill, he makes a noisy rattle and clanking sound. He has trays and platters attached to his body by means of strings and wires, and he carries a fearsome arsenal of cutlery and cooking utensils. He has found these items on a sack under the floor of his home, and was surprised to find that he knew exactly what to do with them. He tied them all around his body and immediately felt very bold. I am bold and brave and fearsome, and I will kill all manner of monsters and dragons and fearsome thingamajigs, he boasted fearlessly to his reflection in a pond one autumn morning. I seek calm and companionship. I seek peace and joy, and I seek the vision of crystalline perfection, said a soft voice. The dragon seeker stopped and stared suspiciously about. The voice of his invisible companion never ceased to tingle his spine. I want someone to sing me a little song. I want passion. I want to learn the stories of the sea and the secrets of the wind. I want a hat and a pony and a bright yellow boat. Oh, bollocks, said the seeker, and resumed his headlong rush down the hill. There was a fearsome and unforest-like din as this would-be dragon-slayer thundered down the hill to do battle. Birds and animals and even sleepy old dragons from miles around could hear him coming. They cleared a path in front of him. He was well known in this land, and all the creatures looked out for him. They did not want him hurting himself, so they just all moved out of the way. He was old and clumsy and noisy, but he had been around for so long that they simply allowed him his strange ways. He was a little bit mad, and they knew why. It was on account of the bright and bouncing girl, you see, they told curious newcomers. He never did find her, and slowly lost his way. You should have seen him, though, once, when he was younger, when there were huge forests and uncharted oceans and pirates and vagabonds, villains, gypsies and buccaneers. He was magnificent. But he turned his back on the paths. He turned from the old ways, the ways of the gypsy and the seafarer, the ways of the surfer, the ways of tradition, and he went mad. We all miss him, you know. The dragon seeker rushed pell-mell down the hill. He rattled and clanked, and small items of cutlery fell from his belt and his pots and scattered on the forest floor. His eyes were glazed and sweat flew from his brow as he laboured in the sun. He didn't exactly know what he would do when he was eventually face to face with the dragon, but figured that he'd sort it out when the time came. In his head, the voices told him that it was the dragons who had taken the bright and bouncing girl from him. It was the dragons who had stolen his dreams, his songs, his frowns, and his Venezuela. The voices in his head said, I want to dance and jump and paint a kitchen table bright red. I want to juggle and snuggle and juggle and smuggle. I want to learn the stories of the sea and the secrets of the wind. And I want the bright and bouncing girl to walk with me a ways down the road. He screamed his anguish and bumped right into a silvery grey dragon who was regarding him with a puzzled expression and a slight frown. Bump! Just like that. Ha! Said the dragon seeker. Are you a chef? Asked the dragon. That voice. The dragon's voice was so familiar that it could not pass unnoticed. Where have I heard that voice before? No, I am not a chef. I am a knight, and I am on a quest. He tried to look enigmatic and brave, but merely succeeded in looking silly. I am a dragon seeker, the greatest in the land, and now I have found you. Ha! But what would you do with me? Huh? The dragon seeker looked down at the ground in his confusion. He noticed that the platters and trays, ladles and spoons surrounded him in disarray. All that was left of his magnificent armour was gone, save for a large pot, which perched precariously on the top of his head. He didn't look like a knight at all. He slumped. I don't look like a knight at all. I'm not brave or fearsome any more. I'm just a nobody. With his head bowed like that, he could not see the dragon smiling. There was a wistful melancholy about his attitude which was so familiar that it did not pass unnoticed. Who are you now, my friend? He did not look up from the ground. He heard a rustling all about him. He did not look up. I don't know. I don't know who I am. What do you want? I want to eat some ice cream and chocolate and watch the sun rise on the sea. I want to learn something new every day and not intentionally hurt any being. I wish to make love with someone I love while the rain pours outside. And I want a hat and a pony and a bright yellow boat. And I want the bright and bouncing girl to walk with me a ways down the road. The voice continued. Look upon me. No, I'm a nobody. I'm not a dragon slayer or a brave anything. I'm a ghost. I'm scared of you. You're a dragon, and I'm just a little man. Look at me. That voice, so familiar, like in a dream. Where have I heard it before? Raggedy Man, look at me. The Raggedy Man looked up from the ground and stared in astonishment. Just as his platters and trays had fallen from his body, so the scales and armour were falling from the dragon. He blinked his eyes to clear them. The Raggedy Man looked into her eyes. They were deep and round and filled with the ocean, the midnight moon on the sea, the sails of pirate ships, a smuggler's cove, storms and tempests and the fires of gypsy camps, chests full of chocolate, a dragon in flight. The bright and bouncing girl stood before him. Flying all around her, bobbing, weaving, soaring and gliding, was a bright ball. Suddenly it shattered. From it came a sound like a sob, like a glass breaking, like a dragon crying, like the sounds of distant waves. A bright ripple of light and sound and energy escaped from the shattering ball. It dissipated in the air and it tinkled and sprinkled around them like fairy dust. He looked around him as the years seemed to lift from his shoulders. There were dragons all about him, all of them familiar somehow. In the distance he could hear a violin tune and a raucous din. Hoopla! He could see a caravan drawn slowly by a small donkey in the gloom, like a beacon in the dark. A dragon moon, right there, just beyond thought, in a forest by the sea. He could see her now, the gypsy, the juggler, a dragon, chasing geckos. Around her the lights, the colour, the laughter. Foolish Raggedy Man. We love you. We will always love you. You cannot leave us, hunt us, turn your back on us. We are your soul. We are your heroes as you are ours. We love you, Raggedy Man. You, all dragons. You were all dragons all along. We are all dragons, Raggedy Man. The bright and bouncing girl, the gardener, the gypsy, the chocolate smuggler, the juggler. All of us, dragons. All of you, dragons. He had never felt so lonely in his life. All of us. Us. Yes, us. Realization slowly dawned on him. His laughter suddenly shattered the gloom. The light in the small glade was ionized and ebbed and flowed with energy. He was alive. He was happy. A foolish grin split his raggedy face and foolish tears ran down his raggedy cheeks. He suddenly jumped in the air and clapped his hands. He shot straight up to the blood-red moon into the sky. He was a will-o'-wisp, a phantom. He flew into the heavens, and from his joyous mouth came a sound, like the sounds of distant waves, cicadas on a summer lawn, like thunderstorms at sea, like a dragon laughing. The Raggedy Man swooped on silvery wings, and flying beside him was another. They flew towards the morning, raggedy no longer. Once there was a man. He was alone in his life, and he searched. He did not know what he was looking for, but figured that when he found it he would know. He had many grand adventures. When asked he would reply, I seek calm and companionship. I seek peace and joy. I seek the vision of crystalline perfection. I want to learn something new every day, and not intentionally hurt another. I wish to make love with someone I love while the rain pours outside. I want to dance and jump and paint a kitchen table bright red. I want to juggle and snuggle and huggle and smuggle. I want to be held and whisper conversations between the dusk and the dawn. I want someone to sing me little songs. I want passion. I want to learn the stories of the sea and the secrets of the wind. And I want a hat and a pony and a bright yellow boat. The end.